Welcome to Hustle and Glow, the podcast where we keep it real, keep it fun, and keep you empowered.
We're your hosts, Lauren and Chloe, bringing you raw, unfiltered conversations about fitness, nutrition, wellness, motherhood, marriage, entrepreneurship, and all the things that make life beautifully messy.
Now we know life isn't always easy, but guess what? You're not alone. We all go through tough shit, but we refuse to let it drag us down.
So grab your coffee, wine, or protein shake, and let's glow through what we gotta go through together. Welcome back, everybody, to Hustle and Glow with Lauren and Chloe. Coming at ya. Today we are going to be talking about social and emotional realness, right? There's a lot of lack of authenticity out there with people. I'm really tired of it. I feel like the more people you meet, the more you see it, right?
It's like dating, right?
It is, yeah. You definitely see it in dating for sure. Mm-hmm. Like people have a mask on, and I get it. You know, you have your filter when you meet people initially, but it's hard to see their true intentions sometimes, right? So we're gonna talk first about finding your people and, you know, kind of avoiding those frenemies and fake friends. So how would you be able to tell if someone is not looking out for your best interest but's claiming that you're friends?
I feel as if a true friend is someone who supports you, values you, respects you, but also can be honest with you, tell you the truth about their feelings, be open. That's a lot of check marks, right? Like, that's a lot of boxes that need to be checked off. But to me, that's a friendship. That's what a true friend is. How can I tell when someone's not genuine? Is that what you're saying? What you asked?
Yeah, like, for example, for me, I can tell when I'm vulnerable with them and how they respond, right? If I showed them a little bit of vulnerability, what is their level of caring, right? Like, before I emotionally dump on you as my friend, I gotta make sure you can handle some authenticity from me, right? Some vulnerability. So, you know, maybe I'll mention like a tough problem I'm going through, right? Yeah. I'll notice from their body language, how they reciprocate, you know, how
even if they're listening,
if they listen, if they follow up about it, like, hey, how's this going? Like, are you okay? You know, because that shows how invested they are in you. Like, I know we're all busy, but I think that if you truly care about your friend, then you want to follow up and make sure that they're okay, right? Yeah. So how would you be able to tell?
Well, first of all, I think there are also two different categories of friends, right? Like, there's like friends of convenience, work friends, like friends that aren't, not that they're not good friends, but they're surface friends, right? So surface friends. And then there are your genuine, deep relationship friends, right? The people who you know care, the people who do follow up, the people who you know, will text you to see how you're doing, and they know what's going on in your life. That's like, it's so, to me, that's a hard distinction sometimes. And I've fallen into that, where I think someone is a true friend, a deeper friend, only to find out that I'm a friend of convenience for them.
Yes. And, you know, maybe they show me their vulnerability first and they trauma dump on me, which I'm like, yes, get out the popcorn. I'm here for you, girl. Like, I will give you whatever advice I can. But then when I go to, you know,
It's your turn.
seek advice or receive comfort, vent. They're not there.
Yeah.
They're on to the next exciting thing, right? So, I think you're right. Like, I've definitely had that happen to me, and it's disappointing, right?
Yeah.
When again, like dating, you have an idea about somebody, and then they may let you down, and that's just the way it is.
And it's also, I mean, unfortunate in a way too that, you know, people change, our values, our lifestyles, our significant others, our where we live, moving. All these things change and can change relationships and change friendships. I was literally, I don't know why, like as I was waking up this morning, I was thinking about my girlfriends from high school, specifically the cheerleaders, because I was a cheerleader. And when you're an athlete, especially like cheerleading, which there's no season for cheerleading, it's all year long. Whereas like football has a season, basketball has a season, whatever. I spent so much time with these girls, and at that time in my life, they were what I needed. I mean, I was a fucking weirdo, man. Like, I still am a fucking weirdo.
That's why we like each other.
When I was in high school, I wasn't as concerned about being the hottest, being the most popular, being any of that. I just wanted to be me. And when I was at cheerleading practice and when I was with the cheerleaders, I could be. I was so weird, and they were so weird, and, you know, and I was actually thinking about it this morning, because I was like, you know, you watch these movies, and, like, the cheerleaders are the popular girls, are the pretty girls.
That's what I would have thought.
Like, right, but I'm not going to say we weren't pretty or whatever, but, like, we didn't care about the popularity contest. We were there for each other, and we were there as a team, and we did what we needed to do to bond and to work together and to be real. Because when you're in a team like that, when you're in a relationship like that, like, you need to have trust. I was being thrown up in the air. I needed to trust the people that were going to catch me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it goes beyond athleticism. It goes beyond visualization techniques and that kind of stuff. It goes to a relationship at a deeper level. And unfortunately, I'm not as close with those women anymore. And we all are very different now. Like, very different. And I've moved away. And, you know, we were all, a couple of us have moved away, and we all kept in touch for a long time, and it wasn't until actually I moved to Florida that, you know, our kind of like our group chat stopped, our group trips stopped, and, you know, I do miss that, but at the same time, what I was thinking this morning was, we are all so different now. So it's not the same.
Yeah, you don't want to force it.
Right.
Right. Sometimes you outgrow friends.
Right. But I do have to realize that the friendships that I made and the bonds that we formed and the people who we became at that time was exactly what I needed. You know what I mean?
Everything is for a season, a reason, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
My high school friend, Brittany, and I still consider her a best friend.
Yeah.
Right? We'll go months without talking. We do the social media thing now, right?
She in Texas still?
Yeah. She has a completely different life than me. She got married when she was 19.
Oh, my God.
She's got 3 babies now.
Are they still married?
I think they are still married. She, she's very devout Christian. So, obviously, my life is polar opposite to that, but we still love and respect each other. You know, like, I think even though we are so different, we could still, like, go out for a meal, go hang out, like the innocent things like we used to do, and get along just fine. We wouldn't butt heads because we can accept that we're so different, but we love each other, right?
Yeah.
But then there's those friendships that you truly do outgrow. Like, I had this roommate, and she and I were like stuck like glue. We did everything together. We were almost codependent, right? And when I started dating someone seriously, she would get, like a little sad,
Jealous.
right? Obviously.
Yeah.
And then it started getting like catty between us, like unnecessarily catty. And, we broke up, quote, quote, as friends at one point, and then we rekindled. It felt like a real breakup. And then we got back together as friends. But it's like she is still stuck in that, like, way, how she wanted things to go back to the way it was when we were in our 20s.
Right.
And I'm, like, married now and have a kid. Like, I can't come over on a Tuesday and have a movie night. Like, no, I can't go blueberry picking randomly. Like, I have a family to plan around. But, like, I think she was accepting that over time. But when I would tell her about updates in my life, like trips, things that Steve was doing, whatever. Apparently, she was holding those things against me and saying that I was bragging. But and when she brought that to me, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. If you were telling me about all these things that you were doing, I would be happy for you. Like, well, why should I be stuck in one place? Like, shouldn't we constantly be trying to, want better things for each other, doing better things? Why would I feel any jealousy about that, right? So I think, that comes back to, like, an individualistic thing, like having to do some work on oneself. Why am I feeling this way? Am I mirroring? Am I jealous? Why am I jealous?
Right.
Why am I acting this way towards her? So it takes, like, a little bit more social intelligence, and sometimes, we just outgrow friendships because one is here and one is here. Right.
Yeah.
You don't grow together, and that's okay. So sometimes you have to say, like, hey, I care about you, but I just don't see us tracking right now, so sayonara.
Yeah, and it's sometimes it's hard, but sometimes it's just such a relief off of your back, like I've cut ties with a friend that I thought was a really, really, really good friend, and our relationship just completely changed, and it came to the point where I was realizing that when I was around her, all she did was cut me up. All she did was criticize me and ask me, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? You should be doing this. You should be acting this way. And I'm like, who are you to be telling me that? And, like, why are you acting that way? But again, it goes back to projection, right? It goes back to maybe she was unhappy with herself, or maybe she wasn't happy with the way that I was acting or what I was doing, but that gave her no reason to put me down for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I did make the decision to, and there was never, like, an official discussion. Did you have an official discussion with that friend that you were talking about?
I did.
Okay. I didn't.
With that
I
one,
just,
yeah.
I
Via
think,
text, though.
Well, I also think maybe because our separation happened during COVID, so it was, like, a little easier, because we were already separated. Like,
was she from up north?
Yeah, we were up north. Yeah.
Oh, you were too.
We were we were both in the Philadelphia area, but, like, she wasn't in my bubble, like.
When someone is embarrassing you, trying to embarrass you, whether it's just you guys or, like, there's one thing, like, joking around, but, like, cut you down or embarrass you in front of other people, that is a huge red flag.
That's a frenemy. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or make you feel bad about who you are as a person. Right? I went out for a dinner one night with two girls, and I thought these two girls were pretty close. Well, we were pretty close. And we had this nice waiter. And anyway, I noticed his book had like all these band stickers.
Yeah.
And I see like Disturbed on there.
All your
and
favorites.
like Five Hunger Death Punch. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I start talking to him about music.
Yeah.
Just very briefly, like not
Yeah.
a long drawn out conversation, but he was surprised that I like, that's usually the reaction is like guys are surprised that I like that stuff or that music. And I'm like, yeah, I love this, listen to this. And he goes, oh, I just saw this in concert. And anyway, we're like, thanks for everything, have a great night. And then one of the girls was like, you need to like not show so much interest in, you know, the opposite sex. Like you're just talking to him on and on and on. And it shows like a bad impression on us. I'm like,
what? Had nothing to do with his. If it was a girl who had the same stickers, you would have the same conversation.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So I don't know. They obviously didn't like that kind of music, so they don't get it. There also might have been a little cultural difference too. I don't know, but I just felt like really put down because that wasn't my intention, you know, to come across as like flirty. I didn't think I was being flirty. I was having like a candid conversation about music.
About music.
And I don't care if it's a guy or what his profession is. Like, music is a universal language, and it's what brings us together. So I think as I get older, I see these little things, and they're like whispers that help me, you know, go on the right path to find my people.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so funny because I feel like you and I, we're very confident, and we know who we are, and we know what we deserve, and we know our value, right? But there are a lot of people that don't have those things, and they're trying to fit the square pegs into the round holes, and they just want to have friends. And the point I'm getting to is my best friend, who her and I are very, very different, but we are best friends. And for many reasons. We always will have each other's back. But she goes out to dinner with a couple girls that she works with once a month, right? And it's like a freaking comedy. Like, every time she tells me the stories of going out to dinner with them, it's like a comedy show. Like, my friend has nothing in common with these women except for that she works with them.
Right.
They are rude to the service workers. They are sloppy, and they are gluttonous. And my friend is not any of those things. Her husband works in hospitality, you know, so she is very aware of how you treat a service worker and everything. And but I'm like, stop going to dinner with these girls. What are you doing?
It's
like,
not serving you.
You could be spending that time doing something that you value and that would be good for you. But she's like, I don't know. I just feel like I just want to be friends, or I just want to be friendly with them. Like, she wants to be in the crowd, you know? And I'm just like, I don't know. To me,
and she can't just all of a sudden be like, I'm not going anymore. You know, then that's going to change the dynamic at work.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. But to me, I've grown into myself where if I don't want to do something, I don't do it. And the big thing that I have stopped recently is making excuses. Is lying about why I'm not doing something or why I'm not going somewhere. So I'll give you an example. So last night I had bought tickets to go to Alexis's event selling tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Which I was really looking forward to. And I wanted to bring Mike, and it was at a brewery that Mike likes, and we were both really looking forward to it. However, I had signed up to work this corporate wellness job, which was a full-day event. And originally it was scheduled till 5, so I'm thinking I'll be out by 5:30, and then I realized I'm not getting out of there till 6. And Alexis's event was at 6:30. And in the past, I think what I would have done is to kind of like break it to her softly or whatever, or to say, I don't know. But the truth of the matter was, by the time I would have gotten to her event, it would have been halfway over. And I was exhausted. I was exhausted last night. And so we talked earlier that day, and she's like, oh, I'm so excited to see you. And I was like, me too. Like, I was really excited too. And like halfway through the day, I just texted her. I was like, girl, like, I don't think I'm going to make this event. Like, I don't think I'm going to make it. And then by the time I left, I texted her again. I was like, I am so sorry. I was really looking forward to seeing you, but there's just no way. And I can't drive from where I was. It was 45 minutes to get home. I had to shower, I had to change, I had to pick Mike up, and then drive an hour to Tampa. And it was just too much. And so I was just very honest with her. And I'm finding more in my life when you're honest with people and when you tell them the truth and you give them the reality, they're much more open and they're much more welcoming. And guess what? If they're not and they give you a hard time or they give you a guilt trip, then fuck them. That's what I say. But I mean, just recently when I took on, I'm starting a new full-time job, and I told you I had to end contracts. I had to end retainer contracts. I had to end work relationships with people that I was doing, because there's no way I can keep going on all of this and work a full-time job. And I work with my friends. You know, everyone who I work with, I'm friends with. And I was scared. I was scared to tell people that I could no longer work with them. But everyone who I told was so happy for me. Aww. Genuinely. Was sad for ending the working relationship, but was just so happy for me. And that shows that they are true friends. And they value me. And they respect me. You know?
Absolutely. And it's so relatable, right? Like, we're tired. We're moving on to something else. When I moved from my last position to this, I reached out, individually to my clients that were friends and say, thank you so much for supporting me. I'm still here. If you need to talk about X, Y, and Z regarding this, product, relationship. But I'm going to be moving to this role instead because it serves me better. I'm going to have more,
autonomy,
reliability with income, and schedule's going to be better. And also, here's a good point of contact. But I was really worried that, also, oh, you're doing a bait and switch on me?
Yeah.
And that wasn't what I got. I was very relieved, and it's very understandable. You got to do, what's best for you. I think, I mean, it's different if you're like relying on somebody to do something though, and then they let you down last minute. Yeah. That's another story. Like, oh, you have an event tomorrow and I borrowed your dress and I'm going to bring it to you, right? And then I decide last minute, like, I'm just so tired I can't bring you your dress that you need for the event tomorrow. Right.
I feel like this has happened to you before.
No, not that.
Okay.
I did have, I used to let a friend of mine cut and color my hair, and I needed it done before a trip, and I was going to get it the day before the trip, and she canceled. Like,
Were you so pissed?
I was pissed.
Yeah. Are you guys still friends?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
We broke up though.
Now you're back together?
We broke up, and then I was like, I'm sorry. But, I mean, that's different when you let somebody down, if they're, like, relying on you. But if you can't make an event because you're literally just so exhausted, and it's not like you were bringing the food, right?
Right. I wasn't. Oh, my God. Well, here's another example. Another story with Alexis, right? So Alexis was honored as a woman to win for Tampa Bay Business and Wealth magazine,
Alexis.
which I was so proud of her. And I was thrilled that she asked me to sit at her table. So she only asked 2 of her friends, and I was one of them. And I was so thrilled and so honored. That day, I well, I've been going through some weird issues with, I have stones in my salivation gland to the point where when I eat, my face blows up. And it's going away now. I think they're like breaking up now. But at that time, I had a serious flare-up. And I called my primary care, and they said, go to urgent care. You need to go to urgent care right away. This is all the same day as Alexis's dinner, okay? Yeah. So I go to urgent care, I sit there, I wait, and then they prescribe me a medication. I said, you have to call it into the closest CVS. I need to get over to the Hard Rock, Seminole, which was a long, a ways for me. And so they called it into CVS, and then I immediately go to the CVS. I tell the pharmacist I need this medication right away. They're like, well, it's going to be like a half hour. I'm like, tick-tock. Like, I have to go. The dinner was starting at 6:30. At this time, I believe it was like 4:30, right? So I'm like, okay, so the prescription's going to be ready at 5. Then I look up the GPS. We were all supposed to meet at like Alexis's house, right? So it would have taken me an hour to get to her house. So at that point, and I was supposed to drive everybody.
Aww.
So
sucks.
I know. So at that point, it would have been 6, and then it was going to take us another 45 minutes to get to the heart. So then we would be late. So I made the decision at that time. I called her. I'm like, I am so sorry, but it would be better for me to leave from this CVS and go straight to the Hard Rock than for me to drive to pick you up and then go to the Hard Rock and make us all late. So you guys should just like take an Uber or whatever, and then I'll drive and whatever. And, I literally got changed in the bathroom of the CVS. So I walked into the CVS in like gym clothes.
I remember you changed there. Yeah, you looked so good.
Yes, I was in a full length gown. I got dressed in the dirtiest, grossest bathroom of a CVS, and it was so funny because when I came back out and I had to check again to see if my prescription's ready, and the pharmacist is like, "Can I help you?" I was like, "You already did," and he was like, whoa, you changed clothes. I was like, yes, I did. Because I was supposed to be changing at, with the other girls to go to dinner, but it didn't work out that way. But I did everything in my power to make sure that I was there, that I was at that dinner, that I was there to support her. Because I knew how important it was. And I would never miss that, So...
Yep, you're a great friend. You pulled out all the stops.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not. Sometimes I'm down on myself, and I'm I feel like people give more than I'm giving or whatever. But I think, just like time and just like life, everything ebbs and flows, and there will be a time.
I remember when my car was in the shop one time, and I live in Land O'Lakes, and you were like, will you come with me to this event, and I'll send you an Uber, and I'll bring you back, or something like that. I'm like, bless you, it's okay. No. You are a really good friend.
Yeah, I mean, I try, and I sometimes get hurt because of that, though, too. I am an open book, and
me too.
I put my heart on the line a lot of times. I don't want to be closed off, though. Like, I want to be me. And so I accept that sometimes that means that I'm going to be hurt.
Are you one of those friends that gets mad at people if they do something to piss off your friend?
Give me an example.
Like,
oh, yeah. I think I sent you a meme on, like, Instagram, right? Like, dear Susan, in your office, like, if you piss off my friend Chloe one more time, you're going to have to deal with me,
you unintentionally hold a grudge against that person.
Yeah, I don't even know Susan.
So that's how...
Which, by the way, is a made-up name. I'm just making that up.
That's how I am. And then, I it's not that I want anybody to have beef with anybody, but that just goes to show you how much you care about the other person. Yeah. And I have a couple friends like that, too. It's like, we'll go to bat for them, So, I think that we have to stick together and stand up for each other because we don't always have the words to say. Or, so if someone were to ever disrespect you or, bring you down in public, I would be like, no, actually she's awesome and she did this.
Which is
hold up.
which is awesome of you, because sometimes I'm not so great at dealing with situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, we have to be there for each other, right? We have to, one washes the other's hand, right? Because sometimes we don't. I remember it was my friend Seth's funeral, and it was like my turn to say something. And I had this whole thing planned out to say too. And I just couldn't come up with the words. And one of my best friends with me, she kind of just stepped in and she like read it for me.
Aww.
You know, like that's a good friend.
Oh, that's
you know,
so
just
nice.
let
Yeah.
them stand there and
Yeah.
suffer through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I know. So I think it's funny how we meet people and like can just instantly click too, versus knowing someone a long time and, you know, having like a surface level relationship.
Yeah.
Like we clicked instantly. We like had a few relatable moments like in between us that we were like, okay, we should know each other. Like let's hang out. And it's just been so organic with you. You're a real one.
How do you... Okay, real one. I'm glad you said that, because the word that keeps popping in my head that I want to ask you about right now, fake. How do you deal with fake bitches? And a bitch can be a man or a woman.
Just avoid them, really.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to call them out publicly.
No, but I can usually, like, I call it like I see it. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell.
It takes me a while. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Usually it's my friends who were like, you know, first about
Not a
someone.
good one,
I'm
yeah.
like, really? Are you sure? I like to see the good in everybody.
I do too.
And that's why
totally do.
That's why I get let down sometimes,
Exactly.
right? It's okay. I guess it's an endearing quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I do clock them, I think once I know, I let them know with my facial expression.
Or, I mean, honestly, with me, it's like with fake people, I'm just like you said, I avoid them. Once I realize someone's a fake person, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time.
I don't either, and I'm not going to waste my time to hang out with them either.
Right. I don't care. You could be anybody, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's when I talked about this, I think, in the beginning of this conversation, but like, status is not of my concern.
You're preaching to the choir. So there used to be another couple that we would hang out with. And I ended up working with them to help them out for a while. And over time, the relationship soured because you know how it can be working with friends. Like you see them sometimes in tough situations.
Yeah.
You see how they handle things and how they treat people, especially if they're in a leadership role. It didn't always sit right with me how she treated people in her role. And then all of a sudden one day she started treating me like I was a grunt worker.
And you're like, wait, I thought we were friends.
And I was literally there just to help. And so this, like, it really soured our relationship. And Steve wanted to retain the relationship with them.
Okay.
And I'm like, you can hang out with him, but I'm not participating.
Right.
I cannot put on
Because you can't be fake.
And she can. That's the thing. Like, they would invite us to go do stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And they, you know, they have a higher status. They have, you know, they have means. They can do a lot of fun things. I'm like, I don't care. I would rather go to McDonald's with Lauren.
I don't go to McDonald's.
I would rather go to McDonald's. We don't eat McDonald's. But yeah, I just couldn't do that. I just can't. It makes me sick to my stomach. So
why waste your time? You could be spending quality time with your daughter or with your husband or with friends that you love or family.
Yeah. In fact, they had invited us to their wedding, which was abroad. And we originally, of course, were going to go.
Yeah.
And then after this happened and I left the company, I told Steve, I am not using my PTO to go there. I am not going. And it was a big discussion. But I'm like, no. There's
Steve's still friends with the guy?
Yeah.
Really?
But they don't, here's the thing. They don't hang out, just them two.
Oh.
It always had to be a couples thing.
Okay.
And I'm like, no. Go on. You can.
Yeah.
You don't need me.
Yeah.
So, once I have, I'll hold a grudge. I will.
At least you're honest about it.
I will.
You're not gonna oh no, I don't lie.
I don't let things go that easily.
Yeah.
But it does take me a lot to get there.
Yeah.
Right? It does take me a lot. But that's just part of knowing my value. And I'm like, you don't do that to me. Right? So anyway, long story short is I have gotten back together with some friends, that we've had room to grow, room to improve in ourselves. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
But yeah, there are those that you come up and talk to me pretending to be sweet and pleasant, and I just can't. Very blunt. I'm a different person there. I'm not like how you and I are.
Right.
So that is how I date people, with bluntness.
Okay, so let's start wrapping this up. So let's talk about our tips, tips that we would give to people for friendships, right? So I'll start. My number one tip is that friendships, and you taught me this, you said this to me, but a real friendship is something that's supposed to fulfill you and fill your cup, not drain it.
Yep. You do charge me up. I would say, don't take the other person for granted. Because we all have a lot going on in our lives, right? We have families, we have jobs, we have goals, we have other friends, right? And when they're choosing to spend their time with you, that's sacred. That means something, right? So don't be on their phone. Don't mistreat your friends. If you misstep, apologize quickly. Resolve it quickly. Because once I hold a grudge, I'm like an English bulldog, okay? So, yeah, just don't take the other person for granted. Cherish the friendship.
Yeah. I think another tip is friendships and relationships in general, you shouldn't think of them as transactional. I know people who are very close to me who are always saying, well, I did this for them, but they're not doing anything for me. Or I gave them a present, but they didn't remember my birthday. And it's if that's how you feel, then talk about it. But also don't hold it in. And you shouldn't, if you're giving, you should be giving because you want to give, not because you expect something in return.
Don't be tit for tat.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I had something else at the top of my mind. I already forgot it. Sorry.
I just think at the end of the day that, I think you said this, but friendships are something that you should cultivate, and something that you should hold sacred.
I agree. Especially when that's what I was going to say. Be able to differentiate the different friendships, the different stages, right? And take it for what it is. Meet people where they are. Just like romantic relationships. Some take years till you get married, and then sometimes you're married after 6 months.
Yeah. And also with relationships and dating and friendships too, it's one thing you have to think about when you're dating is, if a date doesn't work out, then just reflect on that date, and what did you learn from that date? What was the takeaway from that date?
Yeah.
What do you know now that you're not looking for?
Right.
In another person.
In that
and
friendship.
it's the same thing with friendships, right? It's the same thing. If something doesn't work out in a friendship, or you grow apart or whatever, that's okay, and just remember, what that friendship meant at that time and what you valued. You know?
100%. Great point. A season, a reason, or a lifetime. And that's all we got for today. So until next time.
So I guess that wraps it up, right?
Yep,
so
that wraps it up.
if you guys have any questions, or if you wanted to leave in the comments, maybe tell us some stories about different friendships that you have had or experiences that you have had in the past, and we'd love to hear it. And again, also on the same note, if you have anything that you want us to talk about or you want to hear about our perspective on things, please let us know. Put it in the comments, shoot us a DM, whatever it is. We want to hear it. But that being said, until next time.
Until next time, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
That's a wrap on this episode of Hustle and Glow. If you love what you heard, make sure to hit subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with the women that you love.
And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram. We love hearing your stories, questions, and wins. You can find our Instagram handles in the information.
Now, keep hustling, keep glowing, and remember, you are strong, you are capable, and you are never alone.
Until next time, stay fierce and fabulous.